Today's episode is brought to you by...
Welcome to a brand new
Battlestar Galactica, created by Glen A. Larson.
Battlestar Galactica, but it is not the greatest sci-fi show of all time. Neither is Star Trek. No, the best fucking sci-fi series, Babylon 5.
Was the dawn of the third age of mankind. 10 years after the Earth-Minbari War.
Great characters, check.
All of it!
Serialized awesome plot where you're just glued to it.
There are beings in the universe billions of years older than either of our races.
Hands down, superior sci-fi series. And if you have a problem with that, you can suck it.
Dystopian sci-fi like Buck Rogers, set in the future with space. But now on to my main rant. Well, I finally got to watch Battlestar Galactica.
The franchise began with the original television series in 1978 and was followed by a short-run sequel series. A line of book adaptations, original novels, comic books, a board game, and a reimagined version.
And earlier, yes, I was going back and forth from old to new.
Excuse me? What did you say?
I didn't stutter. I see.
I'll watch a few episodes, and if it's like a two-parter, I'll watch the two-parter or three-parter. As soon as that two-parter is done, I'll switch to the original. Just because, like, you know, it's night and day.
All Battlestar Galactica productions share the premise that in the distant part of the universe, a human civilization extended to a group of planets known as the 12 Colonies, to which they have migrated from their ancestral home of Kobol. The 12 Colonies have been engaged in a lengthy war with a cybernetic race known as the Cylons, whose goal is to exterminate the human race. The Cylons carry out a massive nuclear attack of the 12 colonies, and only the Battlestar Galactica appears that have survived the Cylon attack. Under their leader, Commander Adama, the Galactica and the pilots in search of a fabled 13th colony.
Night and day is an understatement. It's like comparing the Adam West Batman from 1966 to the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan. But, oh god, am I sucked into the fucking story. Performance in space!
Many people believe Joseph, dum 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 dum.
But it's still good. Cylons are cool. Cylon leaders are these reptilian looking things that are kind of cool.
Lucifer.
Best character obviously is Starbuck.
Well, as best man, I've got to see to the groom's send-off preparations. Going to be a real bash.
Boomer's a big badass black man.
We've actually found human life form.
The guy from Bonanza, Lauren Green, plays Adama.
Hopefully this is our first contact with an Earth vehicle.
The lives of those people do not belong to us. They must be allowed to continue on their journey.
It's fun for what it was. A space opera, a true wagon train to the stars, you know, reverse Star Trek, if you catch my drift. But unfortunately, the budget of the show did not merit low ratings they had. That's why it only lasted one season. It got replaced with Buck Rogers. Which, by the way, I recommend Buck Rogers. It is dated as fuck. It is so 70s. It's space disco. It's... I mean, yeah, the whole concept of the late 70s, early 80s anyway, or as me and lady call it golden age of science fiction, in my opinion, was, you know, just, oh shit, Star Wars, let's make a Star Wars.
Sure dime, shoot.
Buck Rogers is awesome, because Buck is a bigger playa and slut than Captain Kirk wishes he was.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was first class.
He makes Captain Kirk look like a virgin, but I digress. You know what hurts my brain? Why the Phantom Menace defends the 2003 reboot. I mean, on paper, you should hate it.
Really? Why?
Like, I understand you might be a little nostalgic on it because the show lasted longer and had all these spin-offs and stuff. Why do you offend it? It's the same fucking shit. In fact, it was woke before woke was a thing. So, explain yourselves, Phantom Menace.
Goodbye.
Babe, wait. Babe, wait. Babe, wait. Babe. Babe, wait. Babe. 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 Babe, wait, babe, no! Babe, no! Babe, no! Babe! 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 No, babe! Wait!
In the reboot, Starbuck got gender swapped, and Boomer got race and gender swapped. Instead of being a big black guy, it's a little Asian woman.
I mean, come on!
Apollo is such a little bitch who got the job through nepotism because his dad's Adama. He's the worst character on the show.
Come on!
The original one, he's like a heroic leader, do-gooder. But like, in a good way, you know what I mean? By the second episode, he's playing stepdad to Atreyu. Yes, that little kid is Atreyu from Neverending Story. I do like the new Starbuck, even though she's no Dirk Benedict. She's basically a toned-down bitch pudding, and it's a total practice run for her playing Bo-Katan's. Boomer, you find out, is a Cylon.
You're a racist.
I think it's funny that the one who's obviously the Cylon's the Asian.
Oh, snap.
Big upgrade to me. I do like Edward James Olmos, but again, he doesn't have the command presence that fucking Lauren Green has.
Well done!
So 2003 reboot, just basically a fucking soap opera. You barely see any Cylons. It started with 2 TV movies, aka a miniseries, and to save on budget, that's how they hold the concept of this whole invasion of body snatcher.
Bullshit.
Well, they were both products of their time, so in the defense of the 78 version, it's good versus evil, while the 2003-2004 series is basically everyone's shades of gray and so on.
I mean, come on.
The Cylons are created by humans and having the whole message of humans are the real monster type of shit.
Why are so many people afraid of artificial intelligence? I guess because entities with sentience and supercomputer intelligence have the potential to one day massacre all humans, a la Skynet from the Terminator.
Brings more drama, but again, it's which would you rather watch? Mormons in space or...
All My Circuits is brought to you by RoboFresh, designed by a robot for a robot.
No one fires lasers anymore. You barely see the Cylons.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Because they're all disguised as humans to save on budget. The Cylons, when they show the actual Cylons, they're all just CGI. But there was a few good ones, like Richard Hatch, you know, the original Apollo, coming onto the show playing a bad guy, and seeing the new Apollo talk to the old Apollo.
Thank you for your offer. We respectfully decline.
Oh my God, that's Tom Zarek.
But so far, I prefer the 78 version over the 2003 version. It suffers, obviously, from network interference. And the other one suffers from being low budget on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Whatever.
You had a Boxy, you know, the Atreyu kid, who him and his robot dog played by a chip, and that was just fucking annoying. And not to mention some standalone episodes that were it's obvious why the show didn't last any more seasons. I saw a space western episode, and it was like really cheesy space western, not no spaghetti western.
Wait, what?
Before I continue, let's bring on today's sponsor. No thanks to you. Yep, no thanks to you. We don't get any fucking hype, anything that really matters. And finally back on Twitter. And yes, it's for Don't Watch Mojo. So follow me on Twitter. Maybe I won't get banned this time. Or maybe I will.
Come on! The benefits of reviving an old IP are kind of obvious. There's a built-in audience that's hungry for more content, and that's pretty fucking important now.
I can see why the original classic series got canceled. There was a lot of obvious studio interference due to the fact that the first 4 episodes were basically 2-parters, aka TV movies. And then when they got to the standalone episodes, Apollo becomes the stepdad of some annoying kid and his robot dog because he marries Jane Seymour's character, and then she dies and he's fucking annoying. He ruins the show.
Somebody please tell this insufferable child.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, the fan favorite was Dirk Benedict as Starbuck, which is, yeah, he's basically a Han Solo knockoff who likes to gamble, smoke cigars, and have a different girl every episode, even though he has a primary main squeeze with Cassiopeia. Then we get to a 2-parter episode with Lloyd Bridges as Commander King, and it's hilarious because it's like a practice for him playing the Admiral in Hot Shots, but played straight, and even has like a trophy wife hoe with Cassiopeia, you know, Starbuck's girlfriend. So what does Starbuck do? He's like, oh, well, you stole my chick. I'm gonna fuck your daughter.
Shut up and get to the point!
I give the original series a 7 out of 10. And don't get me started on Galactica 1980. No matter how much people want to hate on the reimagined finale and the spin-off movies like Caprica.
And it was canceled after just 10 episodes.
None of the original cast return. It's like, it's grown-up Boxy, the annoying kid, played by obviously a different actor. And they ended up having their second chance a year later with Buck Rogers. Because what is Buck Rogers, really? It's basically Starbuck, also created by Glen A. Larson, the show, not the actual character.
Come on!
He has a similar sounding name to Starbuck. He is a womanizing, gambling douchebag.
What?
Despite attempts to retrieve the series over the years, none came to fruition until it was reimagined in 2003.
Reboot's getting good. Like, it was slow and dragged out soap opera bullshit. First miniseries and so on.
Co-funded by UK Sky Television and premiered in the United Kingdom on Sky One satellite channel on October 2004. The series was then broadcast in North America on the Sci-Fi Channel in January 2005, continuing where the 2003 miniseries left off.
Yes, there's no aliens, which is always my big complaint. But why? Because I'm sick of seeing that in my sci-fi. But, oh god, does it get epic. I mean, season 1, yes, drag, but as soon as Richard Hatch shows up as Tom Zarek, it's starting to get good, especially with the meta thing I just talked about.
You and your father are both so blinded by the past.
Apollo's still a bitch.
I was wondering when we finally get a little R&R around here.
I have a high respect for fucking Starbuck for the whole rescuing herself and all that shit. And now it makes even more sense why they made Starbuck a chick. That way they can totally ship her and Apollo.
Did you say you love me?
Then there's comparing the Starbucks. I kind of like the Katie Sackhoff version better. Just because, let's be real here, the original Starbucks is basically a blonde Han Solo, but fighter pilot. Basically, he's a prototype of Poe Dameron in the Disney Star Wars sequel.
Oh, snap.
5 days before the sci-fi series premiere, NBC also aired 3 selected first season episodes to promote the show in advance of the second season premiere.
And season 2 had a kind of a boring finale, but had some cool shit in it.
You said it, brother. My mission here is simple.
Too much to list in season 3. In fact, you've probably seen other YouTube channels that covered it better, like that Culture Index guy, and
The Cylons have a different, yet rich backstory that gradually unfolds as the series progresses.
in the original, Cylons were just reptilian aliens who built robot soldiers to do their dirty work and end up like turning on their masters, and now they're just called the Cylons. As opposed to the newer one where humanity created the Cylons, and this endless circle where humanity creates machines, machines rebel, and war and genocide for millennia. Endless cycle. You know, one of those don't be God message, which is kind of cool. But my whole complaint is I miss aliens.
It all starts with, well, even that's up for debate, as all this has happened before.
A lot of people warned me not to watch the final season, but I don't know what they're fucking talking about. It's fucking epic. Shit happens. We find out who's final 5.
We're Cylon, and we have been from the start.
Lucy Lawless's character number 3 comes back.
Welcome home, Deanna.
You told me I'd never have to go through this again.
And Dean Stockwell as number 1, oh god. He is such an underrated actor. I loved him in Quantum Leap. Hell, I even loved him in fucking Dune. He's just awesome all around. I mean, and you believe he's still alive?
If that were true, that's a big if. How do I know this force has our best interests in mind?
Adama is fucking awesome. I mean, earlier I said he's no Lauren Green, but this guy like pulled his weight around in this one.
I mean, come on!
Edward James almost directed a few episodes, and then the final movie, fucking The Plan.
The Cylons were created by man. They rebelled.
They evolved.
First half of the final season, you get some flashback 2-parter called Razor, which is cool to see Michelle Forbes in a sci-fi show, especially her playing an authority figure rather than a rebellious Bajoran bitch.
I say let's make these murdering things understand that as long as this crew and this ship survive, that this war that they started will not be over.
Admiral Kane is a ball-busting, angry lesbian who hates men, and the dynamic between her and Adama is way different. The male counterpart is just down to fight to the last man.
New squadron, head straight in. Silver Spy, follow me.
We get to Earth in the mid-season finale, and it sucks for them. That's a good cliffhanger to make you go, okay, I want to watch more.
And then what happened?
Second half of the season dragged and drags. And, of course, in the final 3 episodes, all questions get answered.
See you on the other side.
Part 1 of Daybreak, it just goes back and forth with flashbacks to preparing for the war. It's confusing.
No one should feel obligated to join this mission in any way.
Then part 2, it's the battle, and it's awesome.
Get it!
All hands, brace for impact.
The Galactica good guys have their own Cylon Centurions. So we see Cylon Centurions fighting Cylon Centurions and all this final battle to rescue the child.
This thing is the key to my people's survival, and I'm not leaving without it.
Here is not a thing. She's a child. And she holds the key to humanity's survival as well.
And how do you know that?
Original Count Baltar is the most cartoony Adam West Batman villain ever. The newer Baltar is a sniveling little bitch, and his character art is hilarious because he goes from like delusional traitor who's like seeing this Cylon bitch who does not exist, then you find out the big twist at the end. And he's such a douche because he goes from guy building Cylon detector who betrayed the human race for the Cylons to vice president of the colonies to president of the colonies to kicked out, sent to the fucking Cylons because he wishes it was a Cylon, to going back to the fleet and leading his own cult, and then finally at the end redeeming himself. That's a pretty good character development compared to the just sniveling villain who betrays people. Pretty impressive.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
And then finally the Galactica. Thanks to Starbuck, she makes the ship jump to actual Earth, and we're all cavemen. So basically, the whole concept of the series is that it's the ancient aliens and how we got our technology.
Along with her Cylon mother and human father.
Hands down, I give this, the Revision series, a 9.5 out of 10. I'm looking forward to the new spin-off series coming out soon. Hopefully they don't fuck it up by making it woke like they did with everything.
The extreme always seems to make an impression.
Soon to both Lost Anarchy magazine and Get Watch Mojo channels. We got some badass graphic novel reviews. And of course, I'd like to make a shout out to our patron, Count Moribond, my homie from the Rainbow. I'm not gonna say what he does, but this guy is badass. Check out his channel. He does a lot of stuff on satanic poetry and other satanic Bible studies. And also a shout out to one of our other newer patrons, Janitor Jay. I've been a fan of his for years, and
Talk about nostalgia, huh?
And of course, shout out to our usual patrons, Ryan Zacher and the Fly Attractor. Later, bitches. Check out our Patreon, and linked in the description as you can tell, and support our cause. We don't get paid for this shit.